It's a blackout at Sun Devil Stadium as Arizona State shoots for its first win over a top 5 team in 21 years as the 6-0 Washington Huskies come calling for Pac-12 After Dark. And hi, everybody. I'm Dave Pasch alongside Greg McElroy. We'll get to Tom Luginbill in a minute. Well, you called it yesterday before the games even started. Said this was going to be a crazy weekend. We've already had 3 top 10 teams knocked off. Number 11, number 12 almost knocked off. Yeah. Could we have another upset tonight? Washington is a team that has a lot of people back from their playoff run a year ago, and they look pretty good so far this season.
And you know about the offensive personnel, Jake Browning and his efficiency. Gaskin at running back. They have a nice 1-2 punch there. And at wide receiver, Pettis is one of the best in the business. But it's the defense that really makes this Washington team elite. And in particular, these defensive tackles. Vida Vea, everybody's All-American. You look at the numbers right below. He's an absolute star, likely a first-round pick next April. But it's its counterpart, Greg Gaines, number 99, who doesn't get any type of publicity but should. He's effective, and they're going to be going against an offense tonight, Tom, that has a lot of firepower.
Well, it sure does, and that's the chess match. Washington doesn't give up explosive plays on defense, and Arizona State is chock full of them on offense. Quarterback Manny Wilkins, he is connected with N'Keal Harry, number 1, the big receiver on the perimeter. This is an offense that accounted for 9 plays of over 40 yards just through the air alone. Expect Arizona State to attack Washington on the perimeter and see if they can get them in space and force Washington to tackle the football.
And Tom, Arizona State already with the win over Oregon here at Sun Devil Stadium. Plus, Washington hasn't won in Tempe since 2001. Well, going into this week, there's only one Peterson in this town. Now there's 3. Stay with me, Greg. Patrick, Adrian, and now Chris. Just for tonight, though. Chris Peterson.
Arizona Cardinal reference. I like it.
They've won 9 straight road games under Chris Peterson. And Todd Graham in his 6th year as the Arizona State head coach. There's been a lot of discussion here locally about his future and whether it's long at Arizona State. This would go a long way, you would think, if they could somehow knock off the Huskies. Arizona State won the toss and deferred. So Washington will start on offense. Brandon Ruiz will kick it deep. Sean McGrew is back for UW. And McGrew is going to take it out from about 4 yards deep in the end zone. And he gets tackled basically by his own guy at the 17. But Jake Browning, the junior quarterback, he's thrown 5 career interceptions against Arizona State. But, man, as you look at his numbers in high school, 2-time California Gatorade Player of the Year, his numbers last year and this year, he's got 73 career touchdown passes, 43 last year, 14 this year, and only 3 interceptions.
Stats are gaudy, but it's his understanding of what they're trying to do that makes him one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
And Myles Gaskin will get the carry here on first down. No running room. Maybe a yard. JoJo Wicker there first for ASU. And Jake's dad, Ed Browning, played quarterback in this conference at Oregon State. So good bloodlines to play this position. Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, finished 6th in Heisman voting last year.
He's got a really good supporting cast, and especially with running backs. Gaskin and Coleman make up one of the best 1-2 punches in college football.
Von Coleman in the backfield with Browning is going to throw a swing pass to Pettis, and Pettis going to lose yardage. That was well defended by Kobe Williams. Arizona State's not very good in the secondary, but if Kobe Williams can step up tonight and they get good play from Chase Lucas, this is a defense that has given up 30 or more points in 11 straight games. That's #1 active, but it's mainly because of that secondary.
They have to be opportunistic tonight. Can't give up the points, but they also have to give their offense the short field by forcing some mistakes from Jake Browning.
Arizona State loves to blitz from anywhere and everywhere and just about every down, but they only rush 4 here. Browning, his pass broken up, incomplete. It was Kobe Williams again. Pettis the intended receiver, so the Huskies go 3 and out on their first possession.
Outstanding start from this Arizona State defense. They've had their struggles, no denying that. But that's a great way to raise the confidence. And then for Washington, they've started slow on the road to this point of the season, trying to get off to a better start. First drive, any indicator, no improvement there yet.
Yeah, all 3 of their road games, they have not been good in the first half. True freshman Joel Whitford with a good punt. Newsom with the fair catch at the 37-yard line. The quarterback for Arizona State, Manny Wilkins, from the Bay Area. He's lived in Las Vegas, Texas, Minnesota, Colorado. He told a story about him getting kicked out of high school as a freshman, had a rough childhood, but he's found a home. Battled through a bunch of injuries last year. Been very good this year. Protected the ball, Greg. Only 2 interceptions this year.
That's been the difference. He's been much smarter with the football. Now the sack numbers are still problematic, but you can see why he emerged as the starting quarterback after a lengthy offseason battle with Blake Barnett, the transfer.
Barnett came from Alabama. Here's Kyle Williams on the pass, and it's a gain of 7.
No, Manny Wilkins was part of the Elite 11 coming out of high school, guys, but he was lightly recruited, so he earned it based on a ceiling for development and projecting out to the type of player that he's now becoming in this offense. He's athletic, he's got some length, he can throw it, but the thing he's got to do tonight is he's got to stay in rhythm in the passing game.
Yeah, they said that's the key with him, and this offense for that matter. Here's Balaj out in space, and a good play defensively. Balaj is cut down by Miles Bryant, so only a 1-yard gain.
Tom talked about staying in rhythm already. The first couple plays, just quick bang bang throws. One is more like a handoff with the jet sweep there. A quick pass to the perimeter. Trying to run it up the middle on Washington is extremely difficult with those defensive tackles. So if Arizona State's going to have success, it's likely going to be on the outside.
Wilkins and an open receiver. It's pulled in for a first down by Jalen Harvey. 18 catches on the season for Harvey. Arizona State's in Husky territory. Mentioned Arizona State has not beaten a top 5 team since 1996, but they do have 2 wins over top 10 teams in the last 4 years. UCLA in 2015, Notre Dame in 2014. So this stage not too big for the Devils. Wilkins pitching it to Balaj, and Balaj at 235 pounds, able to get a gain of 3. They like to get him out in space, even though when you look at him, you would think this guy should just hammer it between the tackles.
Yeah, it's 6'2", 230 pounds, like you alluded to. You'd think he'd be a between the tackle runner. But no, he's a perimeter player. Good receiver, can be moved around, can play multiple positions.
He's like an H-back, Greg. I mean, he really is. You see him in the slot. He's in the backfield. Great ball skills. And Billy Napier, the offensive coordinator, talked about he wanted to get him the ball outside.
Here he comes in motion. And they fake it to him and hand it off to Richard. And DeMario Richard able to get the first down. Richard, a top 10 running back in terms of rushing yards at Arizona State. He had over 1,000 2 years ago.
He's a good back. Very capable, decisive, faster than you think, and he finishes runs, which is what I really appreciate when you put on the tape.
Wilkins back in there at the quarterback spot, hands it off. It's Balaj. That time they ran in between the tackles, and he gets close to 5 yards.
No, Greg, Arizona State's given this Washington team an awful lot to have to deal with on this first series. We've seen multiple personnel groupings, lots of shifts. We've seen a receiver in N'Keal Harry, who's never been in the Wildcat before, shift into the Wildcat. This is a lot to digest right now. Nice game plan so far for ASU.
Actually marked his knee down to the 24, so 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7. Wilkins keeping it, and down to the 21-yard line. When you saw the 2 guys, the shot of the 2 guys running off the field for Washington on that previous play, you want those 2 guys on the sideline, Vida Vea and Greg Gaines. Vea, as you mentioned, a likely first-round draft pick. The guy's a freak show. He runs a 4.840, and he's 350 pounds. And Greg Gaines not far behind in terms of ability and size.
They are extremely disruptive, but even the backups have had moments with a lot of production this year.
But a 5-minute drive for Arizona State. Wilkins on the rollout here in 3rd down and 5. He'll keep it, and Wilkins has the first down. Planted at the 14-yard line by McIntosh, but it's an 8-yard run.
Tremendous decision by Manny Wilkins right there. Nothing there. See if I can make it with my legs. He gets it.
You see the incredible numbers in the red zone this year. Swing pass in the flat and maybe a 1-yard pickup. Harvey on the catch, a second grab already. You saw that 18 of 18 in the red zone, 15 touchdowns, good for 7th in the country.
I love what Billy Napier's doing to this point, the offensive coordinator for ASU, getting the stars involved. You saw Balaj get a couple touches, Richards gotten a touch, Harry's gotten a touch, a carry, and a reception, using the star power that they have on offense here in Tempe.
Remember, Washington only gives up 10 points per game. Here's Williams bouncing off one defender and able to get back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and long coming up.
Billy Napier's been a lot of places. He was an offensive coordinator early in his career, 29 years old at Clemson, was let go and kind of had to start over again a little bit as an offensive analyst at Alabama, then got back into being a position coach. Todd Graham gives him an opportunity here, and he's brought a lot of wrinkles, a lot of innovation to this offense.
See what he calls here, Tom. 3rd and long, 14th play of the drive from the 13-yard line of Washington. Wilkins with time dumps it off to Balaj inside the 10. He'll come up short of the line to gain. So 4th and 1. You've got 3 points here. Do you take it or do you roll the dice?
I think you're playing against the top 5 team in the country, and you have to take points when they're available to you. But it looks as though they disagree with me.
They're going
with the personnel that's running out on the field. I mean, it's right at a yard here on 4th down.
Yeah, Coach Napier and Coach Graham over here, there was no hesitation on what they were doing.
Not even a little bit.
Well, that's Todd Graham. He's willing to roll the dice on every down. 4th and 1. Wilkins to pass, and it's caught by Harry. He doesn't get the end zone, but he does have a first down. When you got a weapon like that, why not go for it?
I love the call because of how good Washington is right in the middle of their defense. Hey, win one-on-one on the outside. Give it to your big 6'4", 220-pound wide receiver with momentum, and he can fall forward for the first down. Great play call and great execution by Billy Napier and this ASU offense, respectively.
They've chewed up over 8 minutes on this drive. This will be the 16th play. Here's Balaj into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona State. Penalty marker is down. It looked like the Huskies did it again.
Offside, defense number 99. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
5th rushing touchdown for Balaj. He had a game last year where he had 8 touchdowns. 8 in one game. Brandon Ruiz, a true freshman, replacing the great Zane Gonzalez, who won the Groza Award last year. 16-play drive capped by Balaj's 1-yard touchdown run. Ruiz puts it through. It is 7-0 Sun Devils. Wilkins and the Devils hoping to pull the upset. Todd Graham says, I don't even need to look. I know we score. 16-play drive for Arizona State, and on the ensuing kickoff they boom it deep, and Washington has to take it a knee out to the 25. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, part of Dos Equis Tailgate Week. There's the Pat Tillman statue, the new Tillman Tunnel. We had a chance to tour the facilities yesterday. Beautiful new renovations here. They've made $300 million in improvements to Sun Devil Stadium and the Student Athlete Center. 7-0 Arizona State leads. Browning gonna get hit. Loses the ball. but recovered by Will Dissly. Pressure from several Sun Devils led by Rennell Wren. They've moved guys around different positions. A lot of these guys are playing because of injuries and the like, and they did a good job getting pressure.
Yeah, they've had to move some pieces around like you alluded to. They lost their best pass rusher in Karan Crump. Now they're just trying to find their most athletic front four, trying to put guys in positions where they can actually win individual matchups. They like their matchups between their defensive tackles and the Washington guards. Right there is a win for Arizona State.
Caleb McGarry fell on the ball, and so they're just going to run Gaskin here, get out of their own end, try to get positive yardage, but they don't. JoJo Wicker blows that play up. It'll be 3rd down and long. And there's no play call in the book for this. 3rd and 26. And so they just hand it off. Gaskin is trying to get a few back to give their punter some room. Tayshawn Smallwood on the takedown at the 19. A first quarter dominated by Arizona State in all 3 phases. It's 7-0 Sun Devils looking to pull the upset here at home. You know, Washington does not play USC this season, as they do get the punt block at the 20-yard line. And so Arizona State will have it at the 35 of Washington. Hodges at 6'7", got back there, got a piece of that punt.
And you could see right on the edge, untouched. Now, I'm no expert, like I said, when it comes to punt protection, but I would imagine that you have to account for the guy that's 6'7".
Block the long guy.
That's hard to kick over. Clearly a bust in protection from Washington, a rare mistake from them in the kicking game.
Arizona State will run it on 1st down. Balazs trying the middle of the field. There's nothing there. Ryan Bowman in there on the stop for Washington, a walk-on. He's been one of their best players on defense, and he's a freshman for Washington this year.
And Washington there defensively saying, hey, we've been dropping back, letting Arizona State move it. Let's dictate some. They brought pressure. One of the few times you'll see them bring 5 throughout the course of the game.
Ryan's older brother Shane was in on that stop as well. Here's Wilkins trying to go to the perimeter, and oh, what a dangerous play there. Now, it was a forward pass, so it's incomplete. So 3rd down and 9.
Very dangerous play right there, and a great job by Washington's defense on these first 2 snaps after sudden adversity because of the blocked kick. Stepping up and enforcing their will a little bit and covering down.
That's Balazs leaving the backfield. 3rd down and 9. Wilkins rolling that way, looking downfield, still on the move, throws it deep, and it hit the pylon trying to go to Balazs. So it's 4th down, and now Brandon Ruiz is a true freshman, but he's already made a 52-yard field goal this season. This will be about that here.
Got to credit Washington there, guys, to have that quick turnaround, get on the field defensively after a blocked kick. You're backed up to force a field goal, and one that's not overly high percentage. Outstanding job from Coach Kwiatkowski's crew.
But again, Ruiz has the leg. Originally committed to Alabama, but he's from Gilbert, which is about 20 minutes away. And this one slices in. It's good from 52. The second one he's hit from that distance this season.
For those of you that play golf at home, that's the beautiful butter cut right inside the upright. Big kick from Ruiz.
So many great running backs this year. I mean, last year you had Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley. Obviously Fournette and Cook are in the league. You got Bryce Love this year. Myles Gaskin for Washington's got 559 yards this season, but it's a pass on first down to Pettis, and he's stopped in the open field by Jamarcus Rhodes.
Been very impressed with the plan that defensive coordinator Phil Bennett has had for ASU's defense at this point. Mixing coverage, playing some man, playing some zone, mixing in a pressure here and there. And that group, after the bye week, man, they're tackling so much better than they did in the first 5 games.
Bennett's first season here. Todd Graham no longer calls the defense. He did as the head coach his first 4 years. Here's Levon Coleman, and he gets smashed at the line of scrimmage. Wren and Sam team up on the takedown. Third down coming up.
And this is a group that has struggled to this point of the season. Not just giving up a lot of production, but production in chunks. Big plays over and over and over again. And this group is not very deep. Their offense forces them to be on the field quite a bit. That's something Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, understands, though. Remember, he was at Baylor under Art Briles with those high up-tempo, high-octane attacks for so many years in Waco.
All the shifts and motions for Washington to get set for third down and 6. Pressure coming. Browning goes down back at the 17-yard line. Tayshawn Smallwood and A.J. Latu. It's an 11-yard loss.
You see Tayshawn Smallwood over here on the right-hand side, working around the edge and picking up a big play. He is the most active defender up front now that Karan Crump is out for the season. Very gifted player, and his teammate Latu helping him out to clean it up.
See if they block here. Remember the last punt got blocked. That time Whitford got rid of it quicker. Mick checks up again, though. Boy, there's a spot now twice that's been hit, and the ball just dies at the 34-yard line. A brand new 118,000 square foot student athlete building, part of $300 million in improvements to Sun Devil Stadium. That giant video board there was added this year. The last phase will be completed in 2019. Arizona State up 10-0. The last time they beat a top 5 team was one of the best Arizona State seasons in history. 1996. Jake the Snake Plummer. They knocked off #1 Nebraska. Ended up going to the Rose Bowl, where they lost to Ohio State. And they're in command of this one against the 5th-ranked team in the country. And it's Harry running it to the far sideline. Doesn't get much. Pushed out of bounds by Jordan Miller. Maybe a yard on the play.
Now you think that Sparky package, if you will, is only to run the football. That is not the case. Harry does have a touchdown pass this year and threw a beautiful pass just a couple weeks ago. So Washington's got to be alert when he's in the backfield, not only for the run, but for the throw.
Look at this 30-second play. Washington's at fewer than 20. Wilkins. Here's Williams. Great job to keep his feet. He eventually went down. Well, they're going to spot him at the 43 and say that he did not put his hand down. His knee was down as well. So only a gain of 1. Ezekiel Turner on the stop. So you got 3rd and long.
And you see this Washington defense. I mean, they're dialed in now. That first drive, 16 plays. Arizona State right down the field, but they've been playing well these last couple series.
Let's see if Washington blitzes here. ASU 3 of 7 on 3rd down. Wilkins with time, going to send it downfield, and it's caught at the 10-yard line by Harvey. What a throw by Manny Wilkins. Right on the money on that deep ball. 33 yards.
This might be one of his best throws. Deep down the right sideline. Time and time again, he hits it right on the money. That time was no exception. What a beautiful throw, and a good job by Harvey stacking the defender and making the catch.
Now you get a chance to really make it difficult. They're going to blitz here as Richard did not get the handoff, and Wilkins was tackled. Man, if he handed that ball off to Demario Richard, it's a touchdown. Instead, Bryant and Bowman tackle Wilkins back.
What a great job by Number 55, Ryan Bowman. It looked as though he was going to chase the running back. Then all of a sudden he makes a split decision and tackles the quarterback. Great job by the walk-on.
It's a 7-yard loss. Now they bring Kyle Williams in to run the Sparky / Wildcat. 2nd and goal. And Williams running it, and he gets stood up. Maybe 1 yard. Azim Victor was there, first team all Pac-12 linebacker a year ago. Well, that was a huge first down play for Washington's defense. Now it's 3rd and goal on the 13.
Such a tough spot to be in here. Of course, Arizona State has been money in the red zone to this point. But it's tough. I think in this situation, you got to go to your star. He's at the top of your screen, and N'Keal Harry.
Wilkins throwing it to Harry out in space at the 10, turns upfield. Got drilled out of bounds by Ezekiel Turner. They will spot him out actually back at the 7. So you have to take 3 here. You can't go for it on 4th down from there.
What a great block by Demario Richard on the perimeter there. Really well executed by the Sun Devil. But you're right, Dave. Greg, 3 points here. You have all the momentum. You've taken so much time off the clock.
I know there's a long way to go, but we were watching the Cal-Washington State game last night. This kind of has the same feel. You kept waiting for Washington State to do something in that game, and they never did, and they got blown out. It's good from 25 for Brandon Ruiz, and the Sun Devils lead it 13-0. Arizona State has dominated 13-0 behind the play of Manny Wilkins, who's outplayed Jake Browning so far. Washington has run 13 plays. 9 of them have been for 2 yards or less. They've gone 3 and out 3 times already. And look at their last 6 plays. Negative 14 yards. That's what Washington did defensively last week to Cal. Held them to 93 yards and negative 40 rushing. It'll be a touchback. Here's Adnan. This week's college football rankings brought to you by AT&T. 3 top 10 teams have gone down. Auburn, Washington State last night, and as you mentioned, Clemson number 2, plus number 11 Miami, number 12 Oklahoma survives scares. Alabama right now, you mentioned this before we came on the air. I mean, they're the only sure thing in college football right now.
Yeah, they're a lead, and you're not even mentioning number 13. That's survived by the hair of their chinny chin chin because they stopped a 2-point conversion with USC.
Yeah. Yep. They're going to get it in the hands of Pettis, who's very dangerous with the ball in his hands, but a terrific open field tackle by Jamarcus Rhodes. Are you guys with me on this? Or Washington doesn't look like a top 5 team?
They have in the second half most of the time, so a lot of football left to be played.
Arizona State first time leading at half against a top 5 team in over a decade. 13-0 Adnan at the break. Washington held to 42 yards of total offense in that first half, and they were shut out for the first time since 2015 in a loss to Stanford. Manny Wilkins was sharp in that first half for ASU. 13-0 Sun Devils. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, and Tom Luganville in a minute. Well, Greg, let's give Arizona State a lot of credit. The way they played in the first half. If you're Washington, if you're a Husky fan, are you worried right now? I mean, you've come back from deficits or have games at halftime. We've only had a 3-point lead this half, but that was a bad half.
No, they didn't play well at all, and it's in large part due because when you wear the target like Washington does as the college football playoff team that they were a year ago, you're going to get tendency breakers, and that's exactly what Arizona State has done defensively to this point. Arizona State pressures the quarterback with blitzes. That's what they've always done under Todd Graham. Not the case today. You see 7 dropping back into coverage and nowhere for Jake Browning to go with the football. The reason why they're able to drop back is because they're winning one-on-one matchups up front with their defensive linemen. They've sacked and harassed Jake Browning over the course of the entire game. He has to play better. The people around him have to play better. And Tom, I've been very impressed with what Arizona State's doing. They just got to keep doing what they've been doing at this point.
They really do. It's very clear in their study of Washington that they felt, even though Arizona State is undersized on defense, their quickness was superior to Washington. So we've become accustomed to seeing Arizona State, sell out, give them the kitchen sink, and then you know what they do? They give up 40-yard plays, 50-yard plays. Well, now you start dropping 8, Greg, and you start making Washington earn it. And I don't think Washington was prepared to see an entirely different philosophy. And if they didn't go into the locker room and make some adjustments for what Arizona State's doing now on defense, then they're going to continue to struggle to move the football here in the second half.
And they have to find answers against that coverage, Tom, and they have to do a better job up front. The challenge and the onus, frankly, is on this Washington offensive line. They got beat at the point of attack multiple times in the first half, not just in the passing game where they've harassed Jake Browning, but to this point, both running backs, Coleman and Gaskin for Washington, they've had a really difficult time getting going. They've really only popped one run, and that was Coleman on the second series of the game, the 4th offensive snap for Washington. So they got to pick it up in the trenches if they're going to get back into this game.
And with the 3 sacks, that's where you have only the 1 rushing yard for Washington. And they lost their left tackle, Trey Adams, a first-team All-Pac-12 performer in that first quarter. Andrew Kirkland was filling in for him. And Arizona State can get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, and the Sun Devils will have it on their 25. So again, we talked about this a lot. Washington has done this before this year, not to this level, but they've had struggles in the first half of games on the road. At Rutgers, at Colorado, at Oregon State. Now, they blew out 2 of those 3 teams. But Todd Graham is 33-3 at Arizona State when leading at the half. And again, this is a Sun Devil offense that can score. The question right now is, can Washington score?
If you're Arizona State offensively, just keep trying to establish the line of scrimmage in the run game. Keep getting the ball out on the perimeter to your playmakers and be efficient on first down. They were successful with that in the first half.
3 top 10 teams have gone down in college football this weekend. Well, number 4 happened tonight. Kalen Ballage gets face planted by JoJo McIntosh after a gain of 1. Sun Devils have not beaten a top 5 team since 1996. They've lost 10 straight since. They beat number 1 Nebraska here in 1996, a magical year for Jake Plummer and the Sun Devils. They won 11-1 under Bruce Snyder, went to the Rose Bowl. Todd Graham doesn't have that talented of a team compared to that group, but a chance to do the same. They've already beaten Oregon here this year. Wilkins on the rollout, looking deep, airing it out, and it is overthrown and nearly intercepted. Jordan Miller with a good play, and he was stride for stride with the great N'Keal Harry.
It's great coverage in the back end by Washington, trying to get a future first rounder in one-on-one. Not going to be the case because of the free safety from Washington getting over the top, making it a 2-against-1 in the secondary. Great pass breakup, but I like taking the shot there.
And no pass interference. You thought that that was a fair call?
I thought it was clean.
Tugged to the jersey a little bit.
A little bit.
Ballage shifts into the backfield. Here comes pressure off the edge. Wilkins steps up and trying to juke the defender. Well played by the Huskies. Joyner knocked him out of bounds. The area was in the area as well. Say that 10 times fast. Here comes a punt.
Big stop by Washington's defense. Stopping the run. Having great coverage on the deep ball. And they're allowing Manny Wilkins to break out for a half-second before the hole closed. Great start to the second half for the Huskies.
And you've got a game changer back there in Dante Pettis. That's what Washington needs right now, but Michael Sleep Dalton has not kicked it anywhere near him. And boy, dangerous play there by Pettis to field that along the sideline. You spend all that time sometimes on special teams worrying about kicking it away from Pettis that you get a poor kick. It went 39 yards. And it's an Arizona State defense that's given up 30 or more points 11 straight games. Here's Will Dissly, a converted defensive lineman. You could tell by the number he wears. Gets a first down to the 49 of ASU.
That's a good play call by the offensive coordinator for Washington, Jonathan Smith. Get Browning out of the pocket, have a little misdirection where you're faking the run to the left, you slip the tight end out to the right, easy completion, and a nice gain on first down.
Browning, everybody covered downfield, and wow, he gets drilled by Christian Sam. And this secondary for Arizona State has struggled for a calendar year to stop anybody, but the receivers for Washington were covered downfield.
And there was nowhere to go with the football. I mean, you look on the outside, on the perimeter, no one up the middle, no check down. Browning had to run with it. And he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage for the 4th sack of the game.
They are 15th in the country, Arizona State, averaging 3 sacks per game. Coleman, and here comes a reverse. Ahmed gets a block from Browning, and Ahmed is free, and he's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Salvon Ahmed, the freshman. There is a penalty marker down at the 38-yard line. It's a 50-yard run if it stands.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
That's on the left guard, Jesse Sosby.
You can see the left guard is who they're going to get. With that left hand locked on. Clear as day. When you have penetration by the defensive lineman, and that's what Arizona State excels at, getting penetration, it often results in linemen hanging on for dear life. That was the case there, wiping out a big touchdown play for Washington.
Browning, again, everybody covered, so Browning takes off, but he's got Green in front of him and slides close to the first down. Again, it's where the ball is, not where the feet are when you slide like that, but he did get enough to move the sticks. Best drive so far tonight for Washington.
And you know, Greg, that is what Jake Browning's got to start looking at more often. If he doesn't feel good and that clock's going off, he's sneaky athletic. He's going to get taken the front door on multiple occasions now to expose that back end that's covering deep and keeping the ball in front of him.
On first down, Browning to throw again, and on a back shoulder attempt, going down to grab it is Pettis. He got it before it hit the turf at the 11-yard line, a 13-yard pickup and a first down.
Yeah, if I'm Washington, I'm hurrying up to the football. So I don't want the booth to take a look at this.
Although it looked like he caught that.
It looked like his hands were underneath it. But it was close.
Now Jake Browning, first true freshman quarterback in school history to start his first game. That was back in 2015, and then really burst onto the scene last year with 43 touchdown passes. He had 6 of them in 2 different Pac-12 games. He's got 14 this year. So not on the same trajectory, but his team's undefeated, the most important stat. He'll hand it off here to Coleman. Down close to the 9-yard line, grabbed at the ankles by Jamarcus Rhodes. Second down.
Washington just has not had success running it at all tonight. Outside of the reverse that got called back, that was about the only explosive run we've seen, and for good reason. There was a penalty on the play. They just haven't had a lot of fortune up the middle. Credit to these Arizona State defensive linemen. They're hanging in there at the point of attack.
Now remember, this team averages 43 points per game. That's good for 10th in the country. They've been shut out so far. Browning off play action. Well defended by Arizona State. Browning rolls out and throws it away. Arizona State not fooled. What's the difference tonight? Why is it a defensive backfield that's been torched so many times over the last year against the best team in the Pac-12, and a playoff team from a year ago is playing so well?
Well, they've done away with the pressures. Hey, we're going to get home no matter what. We're going to leave our guys on islands, but we're going to get home with the pressure packages. We haven't seen any of that tonight. They're dropping off. They're playing conservative coverage, and they're covering extremely well so far in the first half and now halfway through the third.
They can still get a first down. It's 3rd down and 8. Browning, here's pressure. Browning running around. being chased by Christian Sam, and he elects to keep it and is out of bounds about a half-yard short of the line of scrimmage, and they'll bring on the field goal unit. And this is no gimme. Tristan Vizcaino is 4 of 9 on the season, and they've got Von Soderberg, who's actually going to kick this one. He's only attempted one. It was a 23-yarder. He made it. This will be a 27-yard try for Soderberg. And it's no good. He missed it wide to the left. Washington's kicking game remains a mess.
Washington puts together its first drive of the game. They get stopped. Think they're settling for a field goal, and it's just a bit outside. The Sun Devils looking strong.
Greg, you've got to get away from this "I'm not going to eat" during a telecast. you got to stop. You got a long career ahead of you now. You're going to have to learn that.
Tell you what, if I'm going to eat, though, I'm going to have a dog and a burger like that with pepper jack cheese.
No dairy, please. Kyle Williams out in space. There he goes, past the 40 and up to the 43. So they get the stand on defense, and they pick up 23 yards on the very next play after the missed field goal.
Momentum is a powerful thing in college football. It carries over from the defense after the stop, now into the offense with a great first play on the catch and run by Williams.
Wilkins, long throw, got a receiver wide open. It's Jalen Harvey. Harvey dropped the ball after he put that big hit on Jordan Miller. But it was out of bounds. It's a first down at the 43 of Washington. Harvey slow to get up.
Arizona State's doing exactly what they need to do, and that's not to play, not to lose. They're keeping their foot on the pedal, doing all the things that they did in the first half. Really impressed with their ability to mount this and build off that defense.
Arizona State looking to knock off a top 5 team for the first time in more than 2 decades. Midway through the third quarter. On first down, Wilkins gonna take a shot, throwing it deep. He's got a receiver in the end zone. It's there. Oh, but it's dropped by Jenkins. Incomplete. Another great deep ball by Wilkins. We've seen a couple of those tonight, but Jenkins couldn't complete the play.
Oh, man. This is one that Manny Wilkins is gonna want to have back, because he could have made this throw about a second and a half earlier, and then Jenkins wouldn't have been concerned about getting his body down inbounds in the back of the end zone. That being said,
I know you're a QB. You
gotta catch it. You gotta catch it. If it hits your hands, that's a drop, and he's smiling about it. But man, that could have been a huge one if Wilkins would have gotten it to him just a hair earlier.
Luke's being a quarterback as well, I'm sure going to agree with you, as Wilkins just throws it away here. Harry was being held there by Jordan Miller, but the pass uncatchable, thrown out of bounds, 3rd and 10.
Well, let me just follow by saying, Dave, that if you throw the football earlier, then the receiver's not falling to the ground trying to catch it.
Right. You know, I've argued more with the two of you than I have with Bill Walton.
More often than not, we are going to be on the side of the quarterback. In this particular case,
it should have been caught. We're not disputing that.
No doubt.
Yeah. But timing and rhythm, and we talked about that with Wilkins.
That's all on Ryan Jenkins. Catch the football. 3rd and 10. Here comes a blitz. Wilkins hit and sacked. Taylor Rapp, the freshman of the year in the Pac-12 last year, makes a huge play to force a punt.
Just pressure coming off the left-hand side. And you think Taylor Rapp had a good beat on the snap count? Man, he timed that perfectly. Absolutely no chance for the offensive line. He runs right around the left tackle, and no chance for Wilkins as he gets sacked.
Does Pettis have a green light anywhere on the field?
Always.
Especially when you're down 13 zip?
Always a green light with him.
Sleep Dalton's try to kick it away from him each time. This one, though, Pettis is under. But he does signal for the fair catch. Has it at the 13-yard line. They fake the pitch, and on the rollout, it's the tight end Disley. Same play, or around near the same play they ran to start this half, out to the 20 for 6 yards.
But Greg, this has been an offense that has had such a focus on the tight end position, the 12 to 13 personnel, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. And really, it hasn't been until now that we've seen them try to incorporate what has been their strongest position outside of Dante Pettis.
A little undershoot route has been beneficial. They've hit it 3 times now in the second half.
Arizona State bringing pressure here. It's picked up. Browning caught by Drew Sample for a first down at the 25-yard line.
With Phil Bennett not happy on the sideline here with ASU with how they played that defensively. All over Latu.
He's a fiery guy, man. He's done a nice job over the course of his career defensively. He's had his hands full with an inexperienced group, but they're playing well tonight.
We got Sean McGrew here in the backfield. Washington had a touchdown called back because of a holding on their last possession. Checking Ahmed, the ball carrier. He was the one that scored the touchdown on a reverse that got called back because of the penalty. This one will stand. It's a 16-yard gain for the freshman, Saban Ahmed.
Ahmed's quick. Man, can he accelerate. You add him now to the backfield alongside Gaskin and Coleman. You have 3 players that all have a little bit different skill set. Now, he resembles Gaskin a little bit. I think he's a little faster,
he is.
Whereas Gaskin is a little bit quicker side to side.
88 yards already this quarter, more than they had at halftime. Gaskin straight ahead. Wrapped up by DJ Calhoun. Gaskin unable to get on track tonight, but he does get a good pickup of 3 or 4 there. As you look at Jonathan Smith,
he's one of the best in the business. Now, he's not a household name nationally, but he should be. If you watch their personnel groupings, their formations, the way they feature players, he's doing it as well as anybody when it comes to play calling.
You hear his name mentioned for potential openings in college football for a head coaching job as Browning throws complete. There's Pettis inside the 25-yard line. 13 yards and a first down for Washington. They're going to go up tempo here. Browning to the air. Pettis again. Stiff arms his way for another first down to the 12.
I'm surprised Washington hasn't employed tempo yet to this point of the game. They've used it randomly throughout the season. Arizona State, their hands are on their hips defensively. If I'm them, I'm trying to ramp the tempo up.
Browning almost intercepted. Lucas steps in front of Disley. Incomplete.
Very dangerous here. He didn't see Lucas covering the flat to his right. And that could have very easily been 88 and out the gate the other way.
So impressed, though, with the DBs for Arizona State. I mean, they were talking about John Humphreys missed the last 3 games as a wide receiver. They were talking about playing him at corner because of all the issues they have back there, but not tonight. Gaskin on 2nd and 10. Weaving his way down to the 7-yard line. Be 3rd and 5 for the Huskies. Inside 2 to play, and they're going to go no huddle here.
You might think 4 down territory knowing the field goal situation.
Yep, already missed a 27-yarder. Gaskin. And ASU able to plug that hole at the 4, about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. You had to think they ran that play knowing they'd go if they didn't get it, right?
That's what I would assume. I mean,
no,
their field goal unit has been a problem this year. They're going to go for it. I mean, they're going to go for the field goal. I don't agree with this. I mean, now this is an extra point. It really is. But everything with Washington to this point of the season has been a struggle when it comes to their field goal unit. So keep a close eye here on the kicker's body language.
Even if you make it, still a 2-score game. Just missed from 27. This is a 21-yarder. Hits the upright. No good. I'm with you, though. I'm Chris Peterson. I'm saying enough of this. We got to go. If we're going to win this game, we're not going to rely on our kicker.
No more. And I feel bad for this young man. And you can see that left plant foot, very unsure, skittish, jumps up and down. Tries to hold the follow through, trying to guide it in there, and it wasn't meant to be. I just disagree with the call entirely. Knowing that he's struggled, Vizcaino's struggled all season long. Soderberg, excuse me, and
well, both have.
They both have struggled.
Yeah. And they tried Soderberg on the last one because Vizcaino was struggling.
Right.
They don't go back to Vizcaino. They stick with Soderberg, and he misses it again.
And I don't know how you can be a championship caliber team if you're going to play that way in the kicking game.
So Arizona State takes over on the 20-yard line. Here's Balaj. Again, they love him out in space. Good tackle in the open field by Bryant. So a gain of about 3 for Balaj. Arizona State will have to snap it one more time as Pettis talks to Soderberg and says, we still might need you. It's only 13 zip. Hang in there.
Absolutely.
Because even the extra point, if they were to get a touchdown,
and based on the distance on that last one, it certainly is no sure thing, even on an extra point.
Wow, look at that. 7 years since they were shut out through 3 quarters. They reset the play clock. Looked like Arizona State was going to have to snap the football, but they will not, and they will take a 13-0 lead to the 4th quarter. A blackout here in Tempe at Sun Devil Stadium. The Devils have come to play. They've got number 5 in the ropes as we head to the 4th. Number 10 Auburn then blows a 20-0 lead earlier today. So you got 3 top 10 teams that lose. Number 11, number 12, and number 13 all survive barn burners. And number 5 is down 13-0 and is on defense as we start the 4th quarter here at Sun Devil Stadium. Wilkins pumps the short throw, now comes back to it on the sideline. And Harvey back out there. You mentioned the cramp that he had in his calf earlier. He's about 2 yards short of the first down.
Trying to get some tempo going offensively, too. They haven't really been doing much in the second half offensively, trying to energize this group. And now they're slowing it down because they understand the importance of this 3rd and 2.
Even if they don't get it, though, a chance to, again, flip the field. That Washington offense has done nothing. Wilkins will throw it, and it's caught for a first down. N'Keal Harry to the 33-yard line. They pick up 17 yards on 3rd and 2.
Really nice play call by Billy Napier. Go with a little spider 2 wide banana with a Z hook. And as a result, the future 1st rounder N'Keal Harry is open underneath for the conversion.
All right, so break that down for me. Give me the spider. Why is it called spider 2? Spider's protection, right?
Spider 2 is the protection. You have the fullback in the flat. You have the Y on the corner route, which is a banana. And then you have the Z hook right underneath. Basic football.
You saw N'Keal Harry's grandmother in attendance. More on that here in a moment as that pass is caught as Harvey stumbles to the 30-yard line. N'Keal Harry was raised by his grandmother in the Caribbean, St. Vincent. She brought him all the way here. Felna Harry did to Chandler, Arizona. We went to high school and has a big-time future in front of him.
And Tom, I know you loved him as a prep player as well.
Yeah, he was our #1 ranked receiver coming out of that class in 2016 group, and was a great basketball player. Again, another one of those 2-sport guys that you love to recruit.
Shattered a backboard in high school. Dunking the ball.
Certainly did.
2nd and 8. Here's Harry. Played beautifully by Washington. Tevis Bartlett on the stop. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down here. We talked about breaking a backboard. Look at that thing.
Oh my gosh. They say he's about 220. They say he's gotten up to 230, but now he's back where he needs to be. And man, he moves so well. Very athletic, great body control. He's got a very bright future.
It's all muscle, I'll tell you that.
No denying that. He is special.
We saw him just on a simple out in the first quarter go way up the ladder to make a great catch and then balance to get the foot down. Washington bringing pressure here on 3rd down. Ball thrown deep and out of bounds. So it's 4th and 6 on the 29. Your kicker, Brandon Ruiz, has already made a 52-yarder. And they'll bring him on here to try to extend the lead to 16-0. It's
a big kick right here. Obviously, field goals are likely out for Washington the remainder of the game, given their struggles in that area, their special teams. Now you potentially make it a 2-score game with 2 two-point conversions. This is a huge kick for Ruiz.
But it's no good, and Washington will have decent starting field position with 9:04 to go. Number 5 not done yet. So instead of it being 13-6 or maybe 13-13, still 13-zip. Gaskin gets 9 yards though on 1st down. So it's been a crazy weekend, but not as crazy October 30th, 2010, the last time Arizona State won a game where it shut out the opponent, and the last time Washington was shut out, as they get the 1st down here with Gaskin out to the 44. So it's been 7 years for Washington since it was shut out, and 7 years since Arizona State blanked its opponent. 1st and 10 on the UW 44-yard line. A big hit on Gaskin by Christian Sam. Short gain.
Now you start to see Washington in a little bit of a 2-minute tempo, knowing that possessions could be hard to come by with under 8:30 to play.
Browning gets hit as he throws, and that took something off of it, it appeared. Lucas breaking up the pass intended for Pettis. It was Latu that got to the quarterback. They sacked him a handful of times, hit him a handful of times more. And it's 3rd and 6.
Latu has been everywhere tonight for this Arizona State defense, constantly harassing Jake Browning. And a huge play here for Washington. Had some success on the first couple plays running it. Now in a 3rd and 6, you have to think they're thinking of converting through the air. Therefore, you got to find your best receiver, and that's number 8 at the top of your screen.
Browning, everybody covered again. Browning steps up, trying to find a running lane. Now backs up and throws complete to Pettis. What a play by Browning to keep that alive.
It's a great job by Browning and a great job by Pettis. Uncovering, seeing that his quarterback was in some trouble. They tried to go with some underneath mesh routes, thinking that Arizona State was going to play some man-to-man. They go zone. Browning makes a play for the Huskies, a big one at that.
Inside 8 minutes to go. Washington with just 1 timeout, down 2 scores. Straight ahead run. Gaskin getting a good chunk, about 7, before he's brought down by Christian Sam.
Comes that tempo.
Gaskin again, this time running right, and he's able to get outside and get the 1st down. Stays in bounds. Finally taken down by Wicker. Great hustle by a defensive lineman, because if Wicker doesn't keep hustling, that's a touchdown.
No doubt about it. Great hustle from Wicker.
Arizona State's defense is known for being bad, but tonight they're not. They have shut out Washington to this point. Again, you go 11 straight games giving up 30 points or more, and now you've got the number 5 team blanked. But they're on the cusp of the red zone, and Browning's going to take a shot. Incomplete. Hunter Bryant mad at himself for not coming down with that ball.
Man, that was a well-thrown football and would have been a great catch by Bryant. It's right where you want to throw it if you're Jake Browning. One-on-one coverage, maybe your best pass-catching option from the slot. He's not able to convert in the end zone. That would have been huge for the Huskies.
Missed 2 short field goals when they've been down here earlier. Not thinking field goal now, obviously. 2nd and 10. Gaskin finds a hole. They're running the ball better now the last couple drives. That's about 6 yards. The next snap will come around the 7-minute mark, 3rd down. And there's nobody deep right now. Everybody on the line of scrimmage for Arizona State, and they bring everybody. Browning, lob ball, Pettis, knocked away, incomplete. Kobe Williams broke it up. Pettis wants a flag, but won't get it. So 4th and 8. We'll see if they go for it here. You would think they would.
A lot of contact, but I think it's a good no call. Both players trying to make a play on the football. Right there, for the first time, we see Arizona State bring the pressure. Let's see if they do it again on 4th and long. Got to be thinking Pettis once again in a one-on-one situation down here.
Have to get to the 11, and again, nobody back. No safety deep. Now you see him back 2 guys away. Browning, looking, throws, caught, 1st down. Quentin Pounds on the catch. It looked like Chase Lucas slipped when Pounds came out of his break. It's 1st and goal, and they go up tempo. Huge pickup as the game, as Washington's still in this one because they got that conversion. But here's a big takedown by JoJo Wicker on the running back Coleman for a loss of 3 or 4.
Wicker just completely unblocked.
2nd and goal, 13th play of the drive here, Tom, on the 11-yard line. Browning has a ton of time, and now will run it, and Browning to the 5. Browning close to the goal line, and down just shy of Pater. Wren with a tackle. Gaskin is behind Browning here on 3rd and goal. Going to be a quarterback sneak, and Browning. No signal yet. Now there's a signal. Touchdown, Washington, finally. And no penalty flag down. It took almost 55 minutes, but the Huskies finally score.
Just the quarterback sneak. I'll tell you what, it's fun to score touchdowns, but that was a physical push at the end. And this is no sure thing here,
right?
Given their struggles in the kicking game.
And it's Vizcaino that they're going to bring on here. It was Soderberg that missed the 2 short field goals earlier. Vizcaino has missed 2 extra points, and he's 4 of 9 on field goals. Did look pretty, but it's good. And it's 13-7 Arizona State. Plenty of time for Washington. They don't have to go for the onside kick here necessarily. This game could easily be tied, but you got a missed field goal of 27 yards by Soderberg, wide to the left. And then here on a 21-yarder off the right upright. I don't know if there's any more pressure on any collegiate student athlete than on a kicker, because when they miss, they hear about it. People get nasty on social media to these young men. First kicker on an AP top 5 team to miss 2 kicks. That distance.
Last one, believe it or not, was on Boise State in 2010. And who was the coach of that team?
Chris Peterson. Yep. But are you with me, Dad, in terms of the kickers and the pressure they face?
No doubt.
The unfair criticism. I understand. I mean, they miss them, but
it's definitely, it's a thankless job. It really is.
Arizona State will start at the 25-yard line. Again, just one timeout for Washington. And ASU going to throw the ball here. Wilkins pitches it ahead. Richard got to stay in bounds, but he doesn't. We're not inside the point of the game where they start the clock on the snap. So once they get the ball set, they'll wind it. But still, I'm a little surprised Arizona State's throwing the ball.
On a drop back, too. The quick passing game's been very effective for them at times. And they've had moments where they've run the ball effectively, too. Surprised to see a standard drop. And it seems like a run-first situation.
Another pass play. That one's on the money for a first down. Well, when he got N'Keal Harry, might as well drop back and sling it. Gave 20.
Quick game, quick game, quick game. That's Arizona State's bread and butter offensively. Manny Wilkins, not great on the intermediate throws. Throws a nice deep ball, especially to the right-hand side. But it's got to come out of his hands quickly. Right there it does. And he hits Harry in stride for a big gain.
You know, Todd Graham says, you know what, I can't blitz like I want to in defense. We're going to throw it here when we normally might be running the ball, so I can gamble a little bit here. First down on the 44 of Arizona State. They take that clock down to 4.5. Out in space to Williams. Washington trying to strip the ball. They blow it dead at the 48. A 4-yard pickup. Arizona State will take it down inside 4 minutes. They get a couple more first downs. 3 first downs. He might be over.
Very well could be. And if you're a ball carrier in this situation, you don't fight for extra yards. You go down immediately. Right there, you saw the receiver trying to fight for a couple extra. Go down, as opposed to risking a potential fumble as Washington tries to go for the football.
Wisely taking the game clock down and the play clock inside 5 before the snap. Now they'll run it. Richard able to find a hole, and he gets the first down. DeMario Richard, not the tallest guy, 5'9", but he's 220, and he's got power.
How about Vida Vea up front, too? About blew this thing up. But Richard finds a crease. And how about his offensive lineman, Sam Jones, the left guard, doing a little bush push right there to push him over the first down line. Great job by the offensive lineman getting that extra surge.
They've already taken 2.5 minutes off the clock on this drive, and they're in Washington territory. Again, they take the play clock down inside 5 before snapping. Richard wrapped up after a gain of 2 by Miles Bryant. And they don't have to snap until about 2:20. And you would imagine if Washington stops him here and it's 3rd long, then Chris Peterson will use his last timeout.
Yeah, and you look at Washington having to call timeout earlier in the half, now only having 1 remaining. Timeouts, especially like this, they're like gold.
2nd and 9 for Arizona State. Again, just 1 timeout left for Washington. Here's Wilkins keeping it. He hurdles a defender, which he's done several times, but come up 3 yards shy of the line to gain, and Chris Peterson will use that last timeout. He's done this 3 or 4 times as he leaps over Jordan Miller. That got him an extra 3 or 4 yards.
Absolutely. We ran hurdles in high school, and that's just how they teach it right there. That back leg's tucked.
And look at Miller. It's not like Miller was on the ground. I mean, Miller was almost standing straight up.
Yeah. Granted, the hurdles aren't 6'1". Like Miller, there he is. Boom.
These are in other games, by the way.
Yeah, this is not tonight. He did not change jerseys multiple times. Manny Wilkins right there, man. That is a microcosm of his development this year.
A young man that's been through so much. He told a story about he used to come home to his house when he was growing up in the Bay Area, and he'd get robbed several times. And his dad was in prison. His dad eventually passed away from a drug overdose. Manny bounced around from city to city, but he's found a home here in Tempe. And he's got a chance to knock off number 5 as they throw it here on 3rd and 5. It's ruled a catch and a fumble recovered by Steve Miller, the right guard. It's 4th down, and they lose yardage.
What are they doing?
Now they're going to say incomplete. The clock is stopped regardless, but now we'll see if Todd Graham goes for it.
On the field is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
So that's about a 4-yard difference, because the ball spotted now in the 37 rather than the 41. But why would you throw the ball in this situation?
It's not about yardage. It's about time.
Yeah.
Because you get a first down, the game's over. Washington cannot stop the clock. You take a few knees and the game's over.
They ran that exact same play earlier in the game on a 4th and 1. They know that they're going to have a tough time running it between the tackles.
It is an incomplete forward pass, 4th down.
Against defensive tackles like this. But you run that play 100 times over the course of a season. 100. And you want to know what the completion percentage probably is? 98%, I would imagine. Yeah. It's a ball behind the line of scrimmage.
How about this decision here,
your biggest receiver?
They're going to go for it on 4th and 3.
Does it surprise you whatsoever?
In this situation, yeah.
Be alert for a quick kick, too.
And I get it. You get the first down, the game's over, but
you at least try to draw them off sides at the very minimum.
They do have a timeout left, so they can take the play clock down here. They do snap it, and Wilkins will throw it, gets hit, and the pass. Oh, my goodness, it's caught! How did he catch that? C.J. French lob inside the 10, 1st and goal, and that might be the game. How on earth did that ball get through? Wow. Almost off the helmet of JoJo McIntosh.
He wasn't throwing it to him, guys.
No. Manny Wilkins living right. Look at that thing.
He's trying to throw it to Kalen Balazs.
Yep.
A seeing eye 30-yard pass, 1st and goal.
Wow. I mean, when you're living right, you're living right.
Oh, man.
I mean,
the fact, first of all, they went for it on 4th and 3.
Almost at midfield, Dave.
There will be no handoffs. There will be no passes. They are in victory formation. They've got Balazs lined up 15 yards in the backfield in case there is a botched snap. They'll just have to do it twice more, and this game will be over.
You know, Greg, I think going forward for Arizona State, if they learned something tonight, it's that they can play smarter on defense by how they choose to play defense. Because the criticism here, even going back to the beginning of the tenure of Todd Graham, is, yeah, they love the pressure, they love to blitz you, but as a result, they also bust a lot, and they give a bunch of big plays up on defense. And by changing things up, and if they keep it rolling, they'll be an entirely different team down the stretch.
Wilkins takes a knee. He'll have to do it one more time. 4 top 10 teams in 24 hours. Started last night. Syracuse beating Clemson, and then Cal blowing out Washington State. Auburn today up 20-0, blows the lead, loses to LSU, and on Todd Graham and Arizona State. Going to knock off Washington. One more snap to go, and you got to wonder for Todd Graham. There's been a lot of talk here locally if Todd Graham is going to be in his final season at Arizona State. This certainly helps his cause to stay by beating Washington. And there it is. Wilkins takes a knee. The Devils upset number 5 Washington. First win over a top 5 team for ASU in 21 years. We will have more from Sun Devil Stadium coming up. Manny Wilkins played so well, so efficient. 2 short field goals missed by Washington, the difference. A 27-yarder and a 21-yarder. And Arizona State wins it 13-7. Washington falls to 6-1. ASU goes to 3-3. Pac-12 after dark never disappoints as they flood the field here at Sun Devil Stadium, celebrating a win over the number 5 team in the country. And Tom Luganville is standing by with the victorious head coach Todd Graham.
Coach, first time since 1996 the Sun Devils get a win versus a top 5 team. How would you assess the performance of your defense here tonight?
We're just so proud of our players. It's a team effort. We're not surprised. We expected to be here. Just really proud of them, proud of our program. Thank the good Lord for allowing me to get to coach these kids. Man, I'm very, very blessed, and give all the glory to him.
got a sense from you this week that you felt good about your football team going in, that something good was going to happen. Did you feel that way in pregame warm-up too?
You know, this is a 3.0 football team with great character, and that's why I felt good all along. It took us a while. We have 2 new coordinators. It took us a while to get going. We got a dang good football team. I think we showed it tonight with a big win.
I got to ask you.
Our fans were awesome tonight, man. It was awesome. They were incredible.
Certainly a loud crowd. Now, you're known for rolling the dice, being a riverboat gambler. You like to bring pressure. You changed things up defensively tonight. A lot of different looks. What did you see in Washington's offense that led you down that path?
Well, we mixed it up. We sacked him, we hit him, we got after him, and then we dropped 8. Phil did a great job. Proud of our staff and the adjustments we made. Man, it's just a great night to be a Sun Devil.
Hey, go enjoy this with your kids, Coach.
All right, go Devils.
And a great night to be a college football fan. If you loved upsets, this is the weekend for you. We've had 4 top 10 teams go down. I know Stan and Linda are going to get to all the highlights of all the upsets over the last 24 hours. And certainly this one of the biggest ones with Arizona State under 500 knocking off a top 5 team. For Tom Lugendal, Greg McElroy, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch. Stay tuned. Sports Center is coming up. It was a crazy weekend, Stan and Linda. I know you guys are going to document it. Number 13, number 12, 11 hang on. 4 top 10 teams don't, including number 5 Washington, which loses at Arizona State. 13-7. The Devils with their first win over a top 5 team since Jake Plummer. Jake the Snake was the Devil quarterback. Guys.